to the Cosmic Confluence, the space where soulful insight meets grounded wisdom. I'm your host, Sana, as always, and today we are exploring a powerful question that lives quietly in the hearts of so many. What if the key to aligning with your soul's purpose is healing your heart first? Now, for high performers, whether you are leading a company, chasing gold medals, or navigating everyday life, there's often a quiet, persistent disconnection beneath the surface. And no matter how much you quote unquote succeed, it can still feel like something's missing. And our guest today has made it her life's work to bridge that gap. Listeners, meet my guest, Dr. Liz Janelle. She is a peak performance and results expert with over 22 years of experience helping elite athletes, entrepreneurs, and change makers unlock their subconscious blocks and activate their highest potential. She's also the creator of the Heart Freedom Method, and she's here today to talk about what it really takes to get unstuck, live in alignment, and create lasting transformation from the inside out. And she's not just coaching peak performance, she's helping people return to the core of who they truly are. So let's dive into this beautiful, soulful conversation. So, Dr. Liz, welcome to the show, and it is such an honor to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Sana. Thank you for the kind introduction.
My pleasure, Dr. Liz. Okay. In your work, you talk about the heart being a key to unlocking our soul's purpose. So, why do you think so many of us disconnect from the heart in the first place?
That's a great question. From my experience working literally one on one with thousands of people, I find that there are three main modes for, as a human being. You either live through your mind. So if you're successful, driven, kind of ambition, kind of a person, often we can hide in the mind. And the mind is a powerful, beautiful place. But that's until something happens that's so emotional that your mind cannot deal with it. And that's usually when people end up reconnecting with their hearts. Or we
Mm,
can all learn to connect with our hearts and experience happiness. When people take a moment to look back at their life and the moment they felt the happiest, usually it involves feeling like they were loving someone or something. Like if you work really hard of studying, then you start your career and you're present and you feel that you're using all your talents and you're in gratitude, you feel happy. If you have a spouse that you really love, not that because everything is hunky dory all the time, but together you are good friends. If you have children, and like often children are not easy, but the ability to be in the heart is what makes us happy. And
mm,
for me, the only thing that live in their heart is love, gratitude, inspiration, and wisdom. Love, gratitude, inspiration, and wisdom. When you're connected in your heart, those are states of being. Emotions does not live in the heart. Emotions are experienced when you're not connected in the heart. And why do we disconnect? Because story happens in our lives and we start putting our sense of self in the way the world reacts to us. When the world reacts to us in the way we like, we think I'm good, I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of having everything I want. But when things don't go our way, we start creating stories. And when we create stories, we disconnect from the heart. And it's impossible. Each and every one of us has
mm.
created stories. And that's my goal, is to help people reunite with their heart so they can experience a true sense of fulfillment, inner peace, love, and success.
That's wonderful, and that's really powerful, Dr. Liz. And I think many listeners, they might feel the tension between who they are supposed to be and who they really are deep down. Um, so talking about once again, I mean, you have worked with high level performers,
Mhm.
athletes, CEOs, um, people to, you know, to all of us, it's like they seemingly have it all. But what's usually missing beneath the surface of that success?
Uh, okay, so I'm gonna give you a long answer to your question.
Okay, okay.
So, from working again with thousands of people, I started to see patterns. You cannot work with thousands of people without starting to see patterns. And I see it this way. There are two stages to human development: the unconscious, asleep, infantile stage. We all go through it, each and every one of us. And then there's the conscious, awakened, mature stage. Stage one, I call it the boot camp or hell on earth. Stage two, I call it creating heaven on earth. So, what happens is, as soon as we are born, even sometimes in the womb, as soon as we are born, love has to come from outside of us. If your mom, your dad, or whoever is your caregiver takes care of you, you feel good, you feel you're the right person, you feel like if you cry and someone comes, like, whoo, I'm in control. I can have anything I want in the world. But if you were taken away and mom is, put in a different room and you're crying and crying and crying and nobody comes, you start creating a story. The stories are often this like, it hurts too much to ask for what I want, so I'm going to stop asking for what I want.
Mm.
And something must be wrong with me for this to be happening. So you're asking me what creates the disconnect? This is how often it starts. And then, we grow up and mom is tired one day and she snaps at us and then like, what's wrong with me for this to be happening?
Mm.
Or mom has the audacity to have another baby. What's wrong with me? I was not enough. Mom is busy with the baby now. And those are just stories because the truth is each and every one of us is worthy of love. And we only experience challenges when we disconnect from the heart. So our journey is to go through the boot camp and realize that this family we were born into, the circumstances that we were born into, they were divinely designed just for us. It didn't happen by coincidence. It happened by divine perfection because through this boot camp, the stage one, this is where you are able to you know, develop interest. You can develop challenges also that make you stronger. Through these challenges, you end up developing your personality. The only problem is that in stage one, we usually run away from pain towards pleasure. We are unconsciously driven, trying to compensate for how inadequate we are. Like for me, for example, well, I had a twin that died beside me in utero.
Mm.
So, I couldn't save my twin. What did I become? I become a healer. So, we don't know this, but we are being shaped by the support and challenges that we've experienced in our life until we are wise enough and we start to consciously use whatever happened to us in stage 1, the boot camp. And now we start using this to our advantage. So usually I use if I had a visual, I use the Tao symbol, the yin and the yang, the dark and the light, and it's always equal and opposite. And one way of looking at life is that if challenges is represented by the dark side and support is represented by the light side, it's always equal and opposite. And I tell a corny story, but it's the perfect corny story.
Okay.
One day, a scientist is observing a butterfly coming out of a cocoon, and it's a huge struggle. It takes hours and hours and hours. So, to be nice to the butterfly, it cuts the cocoon open. But
Mhm.
by doing this, the butterfly has nothing to struggle against. The wings are weak. It can never fly, and it dies like that. So,
Mm.
when we are little kids, if you know you're the oldest and then a baby is born, now you feel like, oh, what's wrong? I'm not getting the attention I was getting before. And it creates challenges. Then we try to compensate, like maybe I'm going to be mommy's little good helper, or I'm going to be really good at school, I'm going to be good in sports. We try to compensate. And when you look at it, you will see that everything that happened for you, not to you. And it is super like this is how I heal the heart, actually. I do this subconscious work because 90 to 95% of what we do is actually pre-programmed. We think we're running the show. Like, I'm writing a book right now with Jack Canfield, the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul series, and we're writing a book about my method because what we want to show is that no matter who you are, when you face challenges when you are unconscious, you create a story that something must be wrong with you having experienced this. And that's not the truth. The truth is, it's not because something is wrong with you that mom, you know, was sick and she couldn't come when you were crying, or it's not because something is wrong with you that, she wanted to have other kids. It's not because something is wrong with you that your best friend at school played with somebody else than you. Like, and but when we are stuck in stage one, we are using it without understanding that it's growing our wings, that it's making us stronger. The only thing we need to do is we need to get rid of the illusion that something was wrong with us for this to happen. And then we start creating heaven on earth. And again, I use the yin and the yang. It's a really good visual for living a successful life. But the yin is the female principle of listening. Whether you're a man or a woman, you have these two principles, yin and yang. So the female principle is first, your heart wants you to know that you're worthy of love, and you need to do whatever it takes to get rid of the illusion of the opposite. The second thing your heart wants you to do is admit your dreams and aspirations. Remember, um, the kid that's calling for mom and mom is not coming, now this creating stories that it hurts too much to ask for what I want and something must be wrong with me for my mom not to be coming. So it starts really early on, and it's not a defect in the design, because if all of us really were in our heart, it's the Buddhist principle of having no desire. When you're fully in your heart, you experience gratitude, love, contentment. You feel nothing is missing. So if we remembered right from the beginning who
Mhm.
we are, we wouldn't be able to function on planet Earth. So we have to forget our divine nature, but and use this to drive us unconsciously while we're stuck in stage one. But the idea is to come out of it and consciously start to benefit and creating with the yang, taking actions on what the heart wants. Once you start taking action, using your time on what your heart wants, that's when you experience true success. You experience inner peace, love, gratitude, heaven on earth.
Heaven on earth, right? Whoa, wow, that's quite an explanation, Dr. Liz. And I mean,
And when I work with my clients, that's the whole key to finding happiness is getting people out of stage one, the unconscious stage where we are just reacting to our environment, getting our sense of self from, what the world is telling us we should be doing, we should be having, we should like all of these things that we, and then start listening to the heart. You were asking me in the beginning, like, how do you connect with the soul? Because once you're in your heart and gratitude, you get inspiration, and this inspiration guides you to your purpose in life. But I can cheat a little bit and I can tell you in a nutshell, your purpose in life is to bring the best out of yourself, because when you do that, not only does it serve you, but it serves others. And that's how you say thank you to God for this life that you've given me.
absolutely, absolutely. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Beautiful summarization. And uh, your heart freedom method. Um, Is there any neurological or energetic level here to create that real change within us, and then of course uh, in our surroundings as well?
Yeah, it's actually the heart freedom method is just a 10-step method that
Okay.
you can learn. I have an online program called Get Unstuck with Dr. Lise, but it's 10 steps that allows you to find the moment you created the story. Like I'll give you an extreme example of that. I
Mhm.
had the Olympic level skier come to see me. She had not placed in 2 years. So I test her on I want to win. Like you imagine Olympic level skier consciously, for sure, she wants to win. But most people are not aware that your consciousness that wants something is actually the size of of a football. But your subconscious mind is the size of the football field.
Mhm.
And your subconscious mind is not there to, get in your way and to hurt you. Your subconscious mind is there to keep you alive. So if your subconscious mind has associated more pain than pleasure, more danger than safety to what you want consciously, which is the size of a football, it will hold you back. So in our case, I worked with her and we found when she was 7 years old, she was already winning, but her brothers were not. So her mom was hiding her trophies and her and her medals not to upset the brother. So now she had associated winning with hurting other people, and it is such a common thing. You don't have to be an Olympic level skier. You can be who you are and holding yourself back subconsciously because you don't want to be ahead of other people. You don't want people to be jealous of you. And so that's why you really need to, if you want to win the game of life, you really need to be consciously connected with your heart to create reality, but you also need to know about the subconscious mind, your hidden brain, your secret mind. Because Carl Jung said, until you make your subconscious conscious,
Mhm.
it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And so people end up thinking, oh, I'm unlucky. Like her, she was unlucky. She was not winning in 2 years. I had two sessions with her and she ended up on the podium. And she went from being 31st in the world to retiring being third in the world. And she says, my coach told me I got a lot luckier after working with you. So this is that's why I'm passionate because I work with people who are driven to live great lives and they follow all the recipe what they should be doing, and often it doesn't work, and it's not because they're not meant to have what they want. They just need to know about the power of the subconscious mind.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome, and it's less about fixing and more about remembering or releasing, and
Releasing, yes. Mhm.
that can be incredibly empowering. So, Dr. Liz, before we wrap up the conversation, if our listeners they would like to take the first step, get a hold of the wonderful resources that you are sharing, connect with you, what would be the best way?
You can go on my website, drlijanelle.com. There's lots of information there. You can send an email to info@drlijanelle.com. And also, there's a gift you can get that would probably be very useful. It's called bestfriendjournal.com. It's a really good way of becoming your best friend so you can bring the best out of yourself. Today I had a session with a young woman and she realized that every time she was mean to herself, the only thing she was doing was working against herself. And that at the core, each and every one of us, we just need to know who we are, why we're here. And the Best Friend Journal is a 30-day challenge that you can all do, and it's quite powerful.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'll make sure to have all the details in the show notes. And Dr. Liz, thank you so much for this deeply heart opening and practical conversation. And you definitely help us in realizing that healing doesn't mean stepping away from performance. It means finally understanding what we are performing for. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sana. My pleasure. Bye, everyone.
And to all the listeners out there, if today's episode resonated, I invite you to sit quietly just for a moment and ask your heart, what truth have I been afraid to hear? And to connect with Dr. Liz and explore about her heart freedom method, her upcoming book, or her transformational programs, and a gift as well. Just check the show notes for links. And as always, stay rooted and stay radiant. Keep dancing to the rhythm of your soul. Until next time on Cosmic Confluence, I'm your host, Sana. Thank you.